everybody, welcome back to my channel where I love two things, Jesus my Lord and Savior, and food. So this morning what we are going to be doing is making elderberry syrup. I know it's kind of towards the end of cold and flu season, but I figured I'd bring you along to show you just how easy it is to do this at home. Now the first thing I thought when I first started making my elderberry syrup and when I tried homemade elderberry syrup was that it was going to be thick like syrup. That's what you think about when you hear the word syrup, right? No, this is, it's water-based, so it's the texture of water. It's loose. It's not the thick, goopy stuff that you think of when you think of syrup. And second, when you make it from home, you use local raw honey, if possible, and so you can sweeten it as much as you like, but you're not going to get the store-bought stickiness, or not stickiness, sweetness that you're used to by the store-bought elderberry syrup. So just letting you know, if you're looking for that really, really sweet stuff, you're not going to get it with homemade elderberry syrup, at least good homemade elderberry syrup. I love it because you can tailor it to however you like it. You can switch out the taste, you can make it stronger in certain areas, or less strong. You can add whatever you like. So let's get started and I'll make more commentary as we go. So I have a pot here. I make a huge batch. I give some to my family and friends. So I like to always have some on hand in my refrigerator. And I have a giant jar in my refrigerator. I have 4 kids, so we go through it quite a bit. We take a medicine cup full a day. I have it lined up on the counter and they know to grab their vitamins and their elderberry syrup, and it's been working really well for us. I've been making elderberry syrup for probably about 3 to 4 years now, at least. And yeah, it's really helped with keeping those really bad, nasty colds and things away. Okay, so let's get started. Pot full of water. I have 24 cups of water in here. You do not have to do that many, but again, I have a lot of people I make it for. I turn the heat on to boil the water first. Once it's done boiling, I turn it down to low and I let it simmer for 43 minutes with all the ingredients in it. So first up, I buy organic dried elderberries just right on Amazon. I have to be honest, I'm a little nervous to try fresh elderberries because they can be toxic if not done right. So I just err on the side of caution and I just stick with my dried out elderberries. Maybe one day I'll have the guts to try fresh. So this is a 2/3 cup. I'm going to do this 3 times. Okay. I'm gonna toss in 3 cinnamon sticks. Gotta get more cinnamon, I'm running low. And then some cloves. You don't need that many cloves. Cloves are a really potent herb. So, see that? That's all I'm gonna do. And remember, I've got 24 cups going. So, you only need about, if you're doing dry, you're only going to use about a teaspoon of cloves if you're gonna do a basic batch with 4 cups of water in it. Now, the 2 things that I have added over the couple of years that I honestly notice a huge difference. Cardamom. It's a good anti-inflammatory and it helps with blood pressure, bloating, all of that good stuff. So I toss that in there. I just, honestly, I eyeball it every time. And the cool thing is my elderberry tastes a little bit different every time I do it. And I kind of like that. So, cardamom. And this one's my favorite. Mullein. I order this online. Eventually I want to try to grow it myself too, but it's called mullein leaf. And this is so good to clear out your lungs and your chest and everything. And no doctor, I have no medical anything, but let me just say, my son would get RSV every single year since he was born, and he's 5 now, and he has not. I've added this for the past 2 years. Since adding this to my elderberry syrup every year, he has not had RSV. So, coincidence, I don't know, but just saying, this stuff's amazing. Maybe it's because he's getting older. Maybe it's the mullein, but I'm not gonna stop doing it. So add that in there. And then I've had this poor pathetic lemon in my refrigerator for a couple weeks now. I've had to use the skin off of it for a blueberry muffin recipe. So we're gonna give that a squeeze and use that thing up. So I'm going to actually put this whole thing in there. Oops, just splashed myself. And let it just simmer in the pot with it. We're gonna let all the ingredients simmer, like I told you, for 43 minutes. Should have got a new knife. And then once it's done simmering, you are gonna strain it all out. And then that is when you're gonna add your honey. You're gonna let the honey, man, I got lemon all over me. You're going to let the honey, you know, stir it around and melt it in the warm liquid. And you basically do your honey to taste. If you like a lot, if you like a little. If you are sugar-free, you can leave it plain. If you are diabetic, you can add your own stevia or whatever type of sweetener that you use. So again, it's so cool because you can tailor it to however you like. So I have a bunch of little oranges that I've got to use up. So I'm going to use a handful of them. And again, you're going to just pop them right in there and let it simmer in your pot. I love this juicer. This was an addition. I bought it for myself last year and it's life-changing. I probably ordered it on Amazon. It makes this step so much easier than sitting there trying to juice everything myself. I used to get a little knife and kind of just put it in the orange or the lemon and swish it around, and I would constantly stab myself with the tip of the knife. So it's nice to not do that anymore. Almost done. And this adds some really good vitamin C to your syrup. And then we have one more step. Probably should have done it before. Let me grab a paper towel. Probably should have done this before because we have to grate it on the cutting board. And it's all juicy now. I have ginger here. I'm able to find organic ginger at my food store. I think that you can use clove powder, you can use ginger powder. I find that the closest to the natural item that you're trying to do, ingredient that you're trying to do, tastes the best, has the best health benefits. Less processing, right? So whole ginger, grate it on the whole thing, and you're gonna just pop it in your pot. I have sliced it before because I was lazy, or just broken off pieces and put it in there. I feel like you just don't get the same flavor from it. I've found that grating it is the best way. So that's what I do. But again, that's why this recipe is so cool, because you can do whatever you want. You can tailor it to however you like. In there. And you have all your ingredients. Stir it up really well. And then, like I said, you're gonna bring it to a boil. You're gonna let it simmer for 43 minutes. Take it off, let it sit for a few minutes to cool off a little bit. And then you strain all the ingredients out. I use just one of those wire, mesh strainers. And then you add your honey to taste. And that's it. You've got homemade elderberry syrup. And again, it took us, 10 minutes. So it's awesome. I love doing things at home, and I'm glad I'm able to share all of that with you. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.